Condolences out to the family of Lola Mitchell, better known as Gangsta Boo, out of Memphis, out of 3 6 Mafia, one of the pioneers of Memphis hip hop. Though I wasn't too familiar with, a lot of her work, I do want to give her flowers because without her influence, a lot of the southern female rap scene or even rap scene in general wouldn't be what it is today. From the likes of, like I said, with 3 6, Yo Gotti, Glorilla, Young Dolph, and Juicy Fruit, who was probably one of the most slept on artists in the game today. And I don't know if it's because of her name or just because she's a woman, but y'all gotta show some respect. But I just send my condolences out to Gangsta Boo. Where's the money at? Who was found dead on New Year's. Just thinking about that, it's kind of what influenced this episode right now is that, like, it's almost like we have artists, celebrities, all the beloved creators and influencers that we grew up on or watch are being found dead, and it's one of those things. Yeah, I know that everybody won't just die of natural causes, but it almost gives me a fear, and I want to be transparent as always and discuss it. It's like I always say this. I have say this to my friend, right? Like I have a friend who me and them only have that personal relationship, right? Because if something happens to me, I think about like who's going to let them know. If somebody find me dead, like how are you going to have access to get access to my phone and let everybody know? I mean, we have social media, but not everybody's got social media. Like that's one of my biggest fears because I'm a father. I have to live my life still, but it's like I can have a um there's a attachment that I have with my family, right? So me transitioning out of state, out the country, away from my family, it's like what am I going to do? Like who is going to be there if I pass away? And it's like one of those things that you don't just often just think about. It's just a random thought that sometimes comes because we're all going to die one day. I'm very open about death and life because it's part of life. Death is part of life. And again, you can be as healthy as an ox. You can be as healthy as a plant and you can still die before you're meant to like die. Like you can pass away for whatever reasons. Like you can I'm 35, right? So I'm still in that age of where I can still get healthy and where my body is changing at the same time, but that all my illnesses and effects that I might have had prior will still catch up to me like in my 40s or in my 50s. So I got to do what I need to do to make sure that I'm healthy enough so I can live a longer life. But it's not always the case. Like people might think that, just because you're vegan or just because you don't do drugs that, you're going to, live longer. Like your body, we know that certain foods that we eat affects us, right? But and then even certain drugs, even medication, it can affect us in a way. Life is a privilege, but it's also a journey. It's also a mystery. It's like you have certain things about you, about your body that you don't understand. That you can have a doctor that will tell you what you need, tell you what you need to take, but they don't have all the answers. They also, though, they may have more answers than you do. So it's good to take care of yourself. It's good to go to the doctor, get checked up, because you are then giving yourself a better opportunity to live a healthier and longer life. Right? But I'm not going to be naive and gullible and just say that, everything that I take, whether it's medicine, whether it's my greens, whether it's my fruits and vegetables, that is going to that's going to keep me alive if I still have to balance. I know, just, it was just something that I thought about because, it's almost like sometimes we know when it's our time. Like Tupac talked about a lot. He talked about death a lot. It's almost as if he like prophesized it, like he knew that it was coming close to an end. And that's why I'm just so grateful of God giving his only begotten son, Jesus Christ. Because at least I know that with all my trials and tribulations, all my struggles and conquers and victories, that I am saved through his grace. So that's why it's important to always treat people and be kind to people. Because it's like there are things that will shorten your life, whether it's drugs, whether it's gluttony, whether it's sugar, anything. I'm not sitting here saying, we should just do what we want, eat what we want, tell what we want, because it can shorten your life. All I'm saying is, we have to be mindful that any chance you have to be healthy, to be healthier, we should take it, because we don't know. And that's the thing, we don't know. Like, I mean, I say this all the time, we fall so much under temptation. We can be under influence of temptation that we fail to realize that life is a privilege. And, I forgot. I don't remember if she was 43 or in her 40s, but that's still young, all things considered. Think the beloved Cicely Tyson was in her 90s. Maya Angelou might have been I don't know, maybe she might have been in her 90s as well. You know, these are our elders who have lived such remarkable lives, and you know, whatever life that they live, they've been, you know, been able to see through certain things. But you know, Gangsta Boo, like I said, coming being a Memphis artist, a female Memphis artist. This is like when we still had the Mia X's, the Little Kims, the Foxy Browns. You know, female hip hop was, you know, they like people kind of forget about that era of the '90s. Like women was, you know, they still had a nice little run. No, it wasn't as many, but it was still enough. Like people thinks that Nicki Minaj was the only female rapper out. Like when she came out, you know, she was the most popular, but you know, we still had these artists of the '90s still doing their thing. And even when Nicki came out, you know, there was still certain artists that was out here, like the Naheem Supremes, the Breonna Perry's, and even though Nicki Minaj reached a certain level of fame, you know, people forget. But like again, like I say, nepotism has a benefit. But at the same time, again, I just want to send my condolences, and hopefully her legacy can live on, because 3 6 Mafia is one of the biggest hip hop groups in the game. You know, like you have the verses that they did with Bone Thugs. You know, me personally, I think that was a good little blend. But I said it before, like we have artists, not just Bone Thugs, but we also had 8 Ball MJG. You know, we had, you know, No Limit, Hot Boys, all these people who could have done one. But all in all, like I said, you know, one of her most notable records, Where the Money At. And like I said, you know, we still have these Memphis artists like Glorilla and Juicy Fruit. So I just want to say that, you know, it's very hard as I'm not even gonna say a black artist, but a female artist. I can imagine the type of legacy you have and the type of love you receive while you're living versus when you're no longer here. Because those of you who are more familiar than I am, I'm sure that y'all can definitely attest to like just how great Gangsta Boo was. But I just hope that, you know, Glorilla, who's still kind of fresh face doing her thing, gets, you know, gets the flowers she deserves as she continues to elevate in her career. And hopefully Juicy Fruit, who is also fairly new but been out for a long time. I mean, she has notoriety being that her song is the intro to P Valley, but I don't think people kind of put her in those conversations yet, because again, we have other female artists who's still kind of trying to get that, you know, get that notoriety, like Lotto, who just dropped the album on, just dropped the song FTCU for the club up with Glorilla and Gangsta Boo. But you know, you got the Lottos. I mentioned Akabar, who's like, you know, still like a Malibu Mitch. You know, we still have other artists like the Nickies, like the Trinas, and even fair to say, Foxy does her thing here and there, but it's like we have so much female MCs who done so much for the culture that doesn't get their flowers. You know, like I love Nicki Minaj. I acknowledge and respect the fact that she is definitely one of the biggest, greatest female MCs that hit the culture, that changed the culture in a different level. Like she transcended to pop culture and done so much. But I just sometimes it gets a little frustrating because me, someone who listens to women rap, I wish that Drizzy get a little bit notoriety. I wish that Tink gets a little bit more notoriety. Maybe I'm tripping. But I just sometimes feel like when people talk about female hip hop, you might only have, maybe five that is always in that discussion of this, and that's Kim, the Nickies, the Foxys, now they have the Cardis and Meds, but there's so many other dope female MCs who are killing it. And they're even more lyrical or more like they make great records, but I guess it's like, again, it's the business. You're not going to always get everything. It's just like the same thing when you're an independent artist sometimes, and even if you're under label, like if you don't have that support from the label, then you probably won't get out there like that. Like to me, I feel like Drizzy is probably like one of the best artists, female artists to come out. Like say, because I'm not even going to sit here and be say she's not better than a lot of these dudes, but it's like just to be fair, because I know there's a lot more men and it's a dominant sport. But like I said, Drizzy is like that. And those of you who know Tink, know Tink, she got those bars, even though she puts out she sings most of the time, but like she has the bars. And then even like certain artists that I know, you have the Queen Kaz or Astro Kai. Shout out to her, coming out of Maryland. Then you have the Pretty Blacks, Jolie Noir, coming out from my hometown, VA. And then you even have, like I mentioned, the Juicy Fruits and, even like Lola Brooks. But it's like, there's people that's going to be, that's going to, it's kind of like anything else. It's kind of like anything else. Like, again, like Griselda's, the the Ace Hoods, and even like I'll say Wale, like these are artists who like got a big fan base, but it's still kind of like they don't put them in those conversations, and that's okay, I guess. When you're independent, doing your own thing, sometimes you don't really maybe get the credit you deserve. But I just really just wanted to share this on the episodes because it's a tragic thing, Like I don't know if they already reported, because like I said, this is New Year's. It's now already like a week after, like a week then passed since then. But it's like, man, found dead. I guess if there's any other way that if somebody just dies, then somebody's gonna have to find you dead. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's it's so far fetched, because he was like, you're gonna be found dead or you die in the hospital or something. But at least nobody killed you. But it's still kind of like a tragedy, because, like I said again, I don't know exactly the whole details of her death, but I do just wanted to give my love and send my condolences. I think it's okay to do that, even if you're not a big fan, because at the end of the day, this is somebody's life. I'm well aware. It's like I don't expect just my friends and just my family to, pay respects. Like, okay, it's like I don't have to sit here and get into a whole memorial speech about, those people who passed away that I don't know, but it was just mainly just to acknowledge that sometimes, it's good to reflect sometimes. We're all gonna leave this earth one day, but all in all, like I said, one of my biggest fears personally is that, if I pass away, hopefully it's no time soon, Lord's will, that those who I love and care about are notified. But then again, it's like, do I even want them to know? Do I want them to even know? Because, like, believe it or not, like it's hard. Like, ignorance is a bliss. Like, I don't. It's hard to know that people who we care about and love are no longer with us, but we know that they are now with God. So I can be nothing but happy for them. But it's still one of those things where the selfish part of us is holding on and remembering someone for what they done for us in our life and influenced us in our lives. But anyway, that's all I have. So again, thank you for listening. This is Blair, the Cancer Care Bear. Stay safe, stay positive, productive, and prosperous. I'm out.